Welcome to another episode of In the World of Winooski. I'm Thomas Renner, Interim Mayor of Winooski, and very excited to be joined today by Deputy Mayor Bryn O'Cleef. Bryn, thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thanks, glad to be here.
In the World of Winooski, we have had a lot going on City Council recently.
Yes.
The last time I was here, it was when former Mayor Christine Lott was introducing me to the viewers as the upcoming mayor. Since then, we've had two new councillors join City Council. We filled the seat that I had been in, and we had another councillor, Councillor Charlie Judge. He left us on council, and we appointed another new councillor. So I thought, why not bring along the new deputy mayor to Town Meeting TV so that you could introduce yourself to Town Meeting TV viewers and also to Winooski residents who may not know you, as well as maybe they should. So I'd like to just say I've worked with Bryn since I joined council, and maybe one of the best councillors I think we have in Winooski. I don't know, definitely now, maybe ever, I'm not sure. But it's been a pleasure working with Bryn, which is why I asked Bryn to become the deputy mayor of Winooski. She accepted and then was appointed. So Bryn, introduce yourself to folks.
Sure,
What do we need to know about you?
So I'm really honored to be in the new role of deputy mayor, stepping into some fine shoes of yourself.
Thank you.
And many other deputy mayors beforehand as well. So it's been an honor to serve in Winooski. I am in my third term, so that's 5 years in or so, closing in on it. I've lived in Winooski since about 2010, so 15 years.
Wow.
And I moved to Vermont to go to Vermont Law School. I have my master's in environmental law and policy, and then after that I moved up to Winooski and found some work in the area, and have rented and made friends and found a home, and that I've been fortunate enough to own for 10 years now. And now I have the fortune of being able to work within the city as well. So, after quite a long time working for the state and commuting down to Montpelier and back, I'm able to walk to work. And so living and working in Winooski is pretty much a dream come true for me. And also,
if we can ever get that grocery store, you'd never have to leave.
We've got lots of stores, but it's really an honor to also serve in Winooski, and I feel like everything that I could have imagined for a home and friends, family, colleagues, it's all within the city. So it's pretty great.
So you mentioned you ran for office, obviously, for City Council. Can you talk a little bit about that election, because you weren't on the ballot when you won?
No, you're right. So it was during the pandemic, and I'd been thinking about running for council and just kind of wasn't sure about the timing, or was a little unsure about the process and campaigning and how vulnerable it can be to put yourself out there.
Yep.
And it was the first election where that you didn't need to have signatures to get on the ballot during the pandemic.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because of the social distancing parameters. So I had been watching the council meetings and was watching the night the names were announced to be on the ballot, and I just kind of thought, oh gosh, maybe I missed my chance. Maybe I should have just thrown my hat in the ring on this time around. And after the meeting, I called a really good friend of mine. I said, I think I'm going to do something crazy. I think I'm going to run for council, but I have to run as a write-in because I missed the deadline. And so with less than 30 days notice, more or less, I ran as a write-in candidate. And during a pandemic where you couldn't really do any door knocking or have gatherings or coffee talks or anything, and I guess the underdog was able to persevere and overcome,
thankfully,
those challenges, and I won with a very close margin. close enough that there was a recount, and then ultimately won with 12 votes.
Wow, 12 votes.
12, yep.
So truly one of those every single vote matters situations.
Every single vote matters, yes.
Very cool. Very cool. So on your time on council, you've been somebody that I have always relied on to, if you say something on council, I know that you have done deep, intense research on that issue. What is it that really drives you to keep, just continue in this role, to accept becoming deputy mayor? What is it you're interested in to do for the rest of this current term? Because you just won re-election,
Yep.
so you're not up for re-election this March. So
Correct.
you've got some time to think about things and maybe do some wild things on council
Maybe,
before
we'll see.
you're up for election again.
I guess there's so many different things that interest me about city government and city operations. I think I initially was participating on the the environmental committee back when the moose ran through town.
Oh yeah.
Some folks may remember that. I think that was my first entry into participating in some of the committees and commissions within the city, and then just watching and participating in the Housing Commission, the Planning Commission, at Safe Healthy Connected, and just kind of looking around at all the different topics that were coming up and priorities that were coming up for the city. I think that where I sit now for council, I'm on the Municipal Infrastructure Commission. I represent the city on the Chittenden Solid Waste District. And I was for a short period of time on the Airport Commission. So I think the infrastructure side of things really intrigued me. Looking at all of the elements that really impact everyone's day-to-day, roads, bridges, sidewalks.
Yep.
And there's so much of that happening right now. Many of those projects were delayed because of the pandemic, but seeing Main Street come together, just starting to button up for the winter season, but it's just really exciting to see the curbing come in and the line striping, the street lights, the trees. It's seeing that vision come together, and so many people before us.
There was a moment on Main Street where I really never thought that we would see.
No.
And it's coming along. Like you said, the
coming
curving's there, the trees are there. You can really see the vision that originally was thought about so many years ago.
So there's I think the infrastructure side of things, again, the elements that we tend to see and hear and feel the most as we move around the city, and we attract visitors to the city, and we support our businesses. And I think that we're also, other topics that I would like to see is continued work on housing quality. Yeah. And I think our housing director is working with some folks over at UVM to do a study on housing quality and housing needs assessment. And that's been, a topic that's been a long time coming. I think that there's, always continuous improvement on the Housing Trust Fund structures and financial support that we have there. It's exciting to see the evolution of that. That was, launched kind of just before the pandemic as well, so that hasn't been around that long, in the grand scheme of things. But I think there's so many different topics that are of interest. But housing, of course, and infrastructure, those capital projects. Let's get them. Get the ribbon cuts. Ribbon cutting done. So
that would be nice.
Yes,
that would be nice. So Bryn, you kind of alluded to this a little bit, but we're going right into budget season at our next meeting. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you're hoping to see this year? Anything that you think you might be pushing towards for Winooski voters to vote on or raise their taxes to pay for a new project?
Well, I think that there's always so many competing needs. Mm-hmm. Year over year, we wanting to make improvements to the police department, wanting to make upgrades to the fire department. Those facilities, looking at programs for our senior population. I'd love to see more. It's in a way it's small, but in terms of the logistics, having more garden space
Yeah.
for our residents to have access to. You know, there's so much going on that it's and so many competing desires that it's hard to it can be hard to pick just one. But I think I think that continuing to support our small businesses through construction work, because that will it's the entire corridor, the bridge, Winooski Bridge all the way up Main Street into Colchester, so continued needs there. I would love to see, you know, on the infrastructure side of things, some funding for traffic calming measures and more study assessments there. But yeah, looking at some of those, maybe some of those smaller budget items that may be more labor intensive for the staff, but looking at some of our senior program options and, you know, some of those other elements that bring the community together would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a short list.
It is not. Nope. I'm sure that there will be many competing desires, as there always are.
Bryn, I'd love to know, what is one of your favorite things about Winooski?
It's so vibrant. I think that every time I'm out and you know, enjoying walking around the city or meeting with folks at the coffee shop or attending a fundraiser, you know, at one of the Four Quarters Brewery, I hear so much how people love Winooski. Yeah. And I hear very often how many folks wish they could move and come and live in Winooski as well. So I feel so lucky and so proud, and it really is. I think the vibrancy of the community is probably my favorite part about it.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. I'd agree. Well, Bryn, thank you so much for joining me today. Tell folks where they can find you. I know you're on social media.
Sure, yeah. I have an Instagram account. That's probably where I'm most active, Oakley for Winooski. You can also find me on Facebook, and I have a website, Oakley for Winooski as well. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much. And to our viewers, thank you so much for viewing another episode of In the World of Winooski. I'm Interim Mayor Thomas Renner, and I can't wait to see you next time.